This morning I was thinking about the oligarchs, a little piece you did this weekend. We must simply find a way to stop the oligarchs from forcing their will and control over the people. They will throw gobs and gobs of money at Trump because he will cut their taxes even more. He will deregulate their markets even more, meaning the poor and the middle classes will finance a future of war and conquest for the oligarchs.
Look, it could not have been said any better. That wasn't going to be my topic to start with or today, but Jack, you have a way of tickling me. So I want to say something about the oligarchs. A lot of people think that it is a foregone conclusion that, there's a lot of money in politics because the Supreme Court updated Citizens United, or in effect, allowed Citizens United to go through. In other words, money is speech, corporations or people. In other words, not the people of the corporation, but a corporation is in fact an independent entity that has many of the rights of individual human beings. And in fact, if you study some of these rights, it has rights that supersedes the average American human being. That's what our Supreme Court has done for us. That is what many in power have done. We have a tendency to believe that these are things that are divine. These are things that's just how it is, and that's how it works. I've been talking about the good ones. When I say the good ones, I mean the people who want what's best for you. Will be a landslide in November. And one of the reasons I say that is not out of wishful thinking. It's not out of naivete. It is out of expectations that the people in America will perform. When I came to this country back in 1989, America was on the progressive ascent. I never, ever forgot. And I meant 1979, not 89, 1979. I never forgot that all the changes that were continuously being made exponentially in nature, and realizing what was being done. By the way, in 79, I didn't understand as a very young kid then. I didn't understand exactly the dynamics that was occurring in America to dumbify America then. America was a bastion on that hill. Coming from Panama, I remember, and I spoke about this in my book, As I See It, Class Warfare, the Only Resort to Right-Wing Doom. My grandfather had moved to New York earlier on, and we were in Panama, and I remember my grandfather coming to Panama one time and coming home, and come to the house, and I picked up his shoes, and I looked at his shoes, the sole of his shoes, and I said, imagine these shoes were walking in New York. That is a reverence that we had of the United States. Not that we thought the United States was the perfect country. Not that we thought the United States didn't have all these bad things that occurred. Not that we didn't know the United States at one time had slavery for people who looked like many of us, and right there sitting in Panama, we understood that. But we also understood that there was a Kennedy. We also understood there was an Eisenhower. We also understood there was a Carter. We also understood that there were people saying, let's make this country better. Let's make this country what its document assumed or told other people that it was going to be. Let's make this country the propaganda that we hear about America in Panama, Latin America, Southeast Asia, Africa, and everywhere else. Let's make it a reality. And these were leaders making it a reality. These progressives out there that were telling Americans, no, you can make it. You are intelligent. Telling America, no, you have worth. You have worth, and you should get the worth out of your works. All those folks were being taught that. Then came the Reagan revolution under the auspices, the continued auspices of the growth of the Powell memo. That memo that said, oh my God, Americans are getting too smart. Oh my God, Americans are asking for too much. Oh my God, we have to keep this aristocracy that's been covered, that's been in a facade for a long time. This aristocracy known as the corporation, known as the capital markets, known as all that needs to dominate. And then the changes started to come. They enhanced this thing called supply side economics. They enhanced the manipulations of people's minds. They enhanced many of us believing that supporting things that materially affect us will actually or was actually the right thing to do. And then they taught us to maintain the hate that was being mitigated from the past. As we were coming up with the progressive values back in the 60s, growing into the 70s, where we started to look at each other with less disdain, when we continued to look at each other's really as we should, as one's brothers, one's sister, one's friend, all of us in a multicultural society that is loving and admitting and being for everybody. We suddenly saw that as a threat. We suddenly saw that as a threat to an economic system that doesn't have a place for all of us, but instead the greed of a few. When Gordon Gekko in the mythical Wall Street movie said, greed is good. Greed is good. What they forgot to say is greed is good for the particular economic system that we were in, and that most people are not greedy. Had most people been greedy, those who control our economy today, who most of them don't have the work or worth to have the money, but instead have manipulated an economic system to get unwarranted gains. I wish we could point and make people understand that the rich that they think are worthy of are so much not. I wish they realized that when they look in the mirror, they were looking at the real magnets of this economy. I wish that when they looked in the mirror, they actually saw somebody of worth who did the real work in America. I wish everyone that's out there on the road right now heading to work, everyone that you see standing at the bus stop, as you have people in our oligarchy talk about people not working hard enough, talking about the slouches on the streets. I wish people realize that there are very few slouches on the streets, and that most of the slouches in our economy are the ones you find in the boardroom, the ones that take advantage of us all. I wish we could have enough power over these airs, over the air, over the internet and all, to let people realize those who are really taking advantage of them, to not live in the fantasy that somehow that someone could actually be a billionaire, that somebody is worth $1 billion, that somebody created something worth $1 billion, when everything everybody ever created in this country, in this world, is the composite knowledge, the collective knowledge of us all, and just us having an economic system who is able for a few to take advantage of the collective intellect, collective resources, collective everything of us all. I wish, and one of my calls to duty is to let people realize that no, it is us. It is not the few. It is us who make things happen. It is us, we the people, who really make everything. Anytime you hear somebody trying to down your government, remember, your government is you, we the people. When they say government doesn't do anything right, remember that's a slight against you. You have the ability to make government. You have the ability to change government. You just have to do so collectively. We have to remember we are our brother's keeper. We have to remember we are our sister's keeper. We have to remember we are all in this together. All right. That's my rant of the morning that Jack brought on.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.